Do you want to be an independent contractor? Do you want to be an employee? So we had a
Email me,
poll
Craig.
recently, and sentiment still is the majority of drivers want to remain independent contractor.
This is one area that we're agreeing with the companies. only one. This is the only area we're agreeing with the companies, because this is what the companies are saying. This is what Uber and Lyft says. We want you to all stay independent contractors. And 85% of 2,300 votes so far said, 85%, I mean, that's massive, overwhelming majority, said we want to stay independent contractors. So we're basically agreeing with the companies only on this subject right here. For one reason or another, you all want to stay independent contractors. Okay, fine. Now, the other question
I just want to know, what would an employee, and nobody on chat, nobody can tell me what you think it's going to look like, because honestly, we just don't know. The reality is, it does not have to be scheduling.
Chris, we had Alto on. We had Alto on, remember, a few weeks ago?
No, I know. Those are...
Put the Alto shirt on, put the Alto shirt on, put the Alto hat on, and you drive. That's it.
But does it have to look like that? Does it have to look like a traditional 9-to-5 job, or can it be something that's in between? That's what I want to know. Can it be a hybrid of something? I just want to know. I just want to know. Like, I like information. We like information, but we're so dismissive on, oh, no, nothing with employee. I get it. I don't want to be an employee either. I just want to see what it looks like, what it would actually look like from Uber or Lyft if you were made into an employee. If that 339-page ruling came out and said, hey, guess what, Uber, Lyft, you are now employees, not independent contractors for your driving force. And you have until March 11th to change that, or you're going to start getting fined. Something like that. If that was the ruling that truly came out, and this was, let's just say it was a court system and everything was upheld, and they have to now, what would that truly look like? That's what I want to know. I want to know what it would look like. Well, and then I can base a better decision. Right now, it's the fear of what an employee would look like based on what we think of it as currently. And you're right. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be anything near that, because I want to be able to go on and off when I want. Or, if I want to take the day off because, hey, we got 3 feet of snow and they're telling me, oh no, you got to go work. Well, we're going to have a little disconnect here. So there's those types of things. But the reality is, there's so much overstep when it comes to them controlling what you are doing and when you can go out and those types of things, that it's a guiding hand that they're telling you what you can and cannot do. And they're gaming it. They're gamifying it. We've talked about this, and they're putting so much complexity into it. The reality is, I mean, we're already employees. We're just not getting any of the benefits for it.
I mean, look, but this is a new industry, okay? App-based work is only 10 years old, Chris. We think it's like decades, but it's not. There are no laws. Well, actually, it's a great question you raised, because we don't know. I mean, this is brand new industry. 10 years is nothing compared to the steel industry, airline industry, auto industry. That's established stuff. The rules are being written as we go along. You know what I'm saying? And this only thing is we're agreeing with these companies. That's it. And then on the next question, which shows the contradiction in people, right? 2,000 votes. Do you consider yourself to be a true independent contractor, like my buddy who was an air conditioning installer and contractor? He's an independent contractor. And the way he works versus the way I work is completely day and night. He shows up at a job. He bids for the job, commercial or residential. He either gets the job or doesn't get the job. He goes to the next one. You know what I'm saying? If you bid too high, you're not going to get the job. But in our world, in the rideshare world, our community is saying, no, we're not. And I agree 100%. Thank you, William. We have more news coming up on InDrive, so you guys got to stay tuned. So, yeah, I agree 100%. When as an independent contractor, if I cannot name the price of the job or even bid on a job or even do whatever. Now, yes, we can decline trips that we don't like. Great. But what are the repercussions? Like we're going to show you on Lyft, they put you on timeouts. They treat you like an employee, but then when the bill fits them, they want you to be an independent contractor. Have the cake, eat it too. S needs to end. And that's when legislation comes into play. So, no, I agree. And I'm like, That's the contradiction. Yes, we want to stay independent, but we don't want to stay independent the way we are now. Okay, I get it. Well, in order for that to happen, people, you need legislation, because otherwise these companies are not just going to come and tell you, oh, you can name the price of the trip. You can, do whatever. And with the algorithm, Chris, it's in the article. It's like really, really poignant that Len made that point. If I don't accept the garbage, my utilization rate tanks. So I'm in between a hard place and a rock. And if I do accept the garbage, then my hourly rate tanks. You know what I'm saying? I'm like in this like
weird flex,
hard place and a rock. If I don't accept, my UR tanks, and I'm just sitting there watching YouTube, twiddling my fingers. And if I do accept the $3 garbage trip, then my hourly tanks to like $15 an hour. So it's like the way they set it up is a lose-lose situation. So.
Yep. So clearly things do have to change and need to, but not only just legislation, but there's probably got to be a couple of high-profile lawsuits and court cases and decisions that need to be made in order for certain changes and differences to be made as well too. So that's another side of the coin as well too, especially when it comes to some of these misclassification suits that can come about. So those types of things could be a potential. It just depends on how far you want to go. So
okay, let me answer that quick question, because I've been asked that so many times now. Okay, first of all, it's not a strike. You cannot strike. You're an independent contractor, number one. But I have been in touch with the professor. We actually did a half-hour conversation that we're going to put up right before the protest. It's not a strike. You cannot strike. If you get 100,000 people, bro, I'll be right in front of that crowd. Get me 100,000 people out of 4 million people. You cannot strike. But we're going to have our conversation about that next week with Chris. And Chris, actually, it's Chris's idea. I think it's going to be a lot more effective than turning the app off, because, strikes don't work. What works, but and without giving up too much, there is a lot more coming up with Thorsten that we've been in communication with. I do support a protest. If it works, great. What is the protest going to do? Yeah, I'm going to put all my power behind getting my journalist friends, notifying them, and giving you guys a push as hard as I can. Yes, it gets media attention, and then it goes away. But his program, Thorsten's program, and he's not calling it a strike either. It's a protest. Keep doing these things. Keep doing it. Keep doing it. That's how Malta got where they got to. See, this weekend they were protesting at the airport. Okay, it's a protest. Civil, non-violent. Get your voices out. Well, we have the media with us now. Now we can get our voices out more often. More important subjects, right? But strike, you guys stay tuned. That'll be a lot more news coming up on that.
Yep.
So,
and then one other thing I'm going to say before, and not giving away the other thing, but one of the other things, don't just go to the airport, because most of the time it's just a waiting lot, and not a lot of drivers go to the lots. Go to your main
LA they do.
Well, at LA maybe, but I'm talking about
500 of them.
LA is a much bigger area than just LAX. So, but reality is, no matter what, if you're in the staging lot, or if you're, going around, you're only going to get the people that are there at the time. What about the people that are actually living in your community? And those people are, they're driving to and from work. So the biggest thing is, why not hold some signs up during rush hour on the busiest streets around? If you get a bunch of people doing that at different intersections and all holding signs about Uber, that's going to start also creating some what is going on out there, and what are these people protesting, or that. You're going to get a lot more intrigue and interest when it comes to people understanding and knowing what it is. So that's another side of the coin.
Well, next week also, I'm gonna, we need to also change a little tactics, right? We need to talk about passenger education more than driver education, because look, there's only 3 million drivers in the US on Uber and Lyft, and there's 142 million passengers. So which one is it? And which one is the one that's permanent? The passenger, because the driver community is transitory. They work for 8 months, they go. They work for 8 months and they go, you can't even catch up to them. By the time you catch up to them and try to teach them what to do, they're already gone. But the passenger is the permanent part of this equation, and I think that's what we need to do in a much bigger fashion, much better way. And who's the best mouthpiece for that? The driver. You have 20 people, different people in the car. I mean, we're gonna, we have some plans about how to educate the passenger, and I'm pretty sure out of half 50% out of 142 million have a heart, and I think they will understand. So,
See,
that's all we need.
another excuse, Craig. Small towns might not have rush hours as a city will, or that type of thing. They do have main streets.
Yeah, if you
You
look, if
stand
we
on the
can
main
come up with a
street.
list of excuses, bro. It's like,
Come on, you want to keep shooting these excuses? I will bury you all when you come up with these excuses, because for every objection you say, I'll find a workaround on it.
well,
So
look,
you're not gonna allow that to happen.
there is a will, there is a
You
way.
don't have a rush hour, but you got a main street.
Yeah, there is
You
a
got a
will,
bar
there is a
that's
way,
right
bro.
there. I mean, that you got whatever is local that most locals go to. You want to raise the points there. I mean, come on, start.
Palm Springs
Thinking
is
about
very
those
near me,
things.
bro. Palm Springs has got busy area of town. There's no rush hour, but I know exactly what happens there. You have party people, you have late nights. Palm Springs could be hopping, as like, especially now, seasonality is pretty good at Palm Springs. So I don't know, Palm Springs, Palm Desert, Indian Wells. There you have a lot of stuff to do there. So
No, you know what?
um,
It's not about talking down to the audience. It's about pissing you off enough to get off your ass and do something. That's really what it comes down to. I
she
want
was
to.
always like whatever. Anyway,
I mean,
so
the reality is you have to get pissed off in order to do something. That's the reality of something. If you're not pissed off, you're not going to do anything, because you're just living comfortably miserable. That's
yeah,
the way it is. That's reality.
I like
And
that
if
one.
you need the Band-Aid to come off, you need the Band-Aid to come off. All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club, with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you get notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.